This is going to be a follow-up to the previous video that I did about this panel wall here and kind of my adventure through 3D printing and trying to clean up my room. If you want to watch that, I should have a card available on the video in the top right, and I'll also have a link in the description if you want to check that out first. I got a lot of stuff up on the wall, which is cool. I learned a lot of things as I did in the previous video. This can be used as kind of an example of the do's and don'ts. There's definitely things that I took out of this knowing that I'd want to pass on that information to somebody else that wanted to try this out and kind of see what's available and in store with a resource like this. In my previous video, one of the big things that I touched on was all of the boxes that I was using as storage. I didn't really accomplish the goal of getting rid of everything. I did accomplish to get rid of a few of those boxes that I was using and just, kind of compress my mess into something a little more manageable. One of the ways that I did that was with just using hangers to store cables. This is one of the ways that you can definitely do it. It's probably not the most efficient or best way to do it. It's not like I'm stuck with these options. I can show you here with this hanger. I could technically put it right there. The ease of changing your mind down the road, if you're not somebody that wants to stick with one thing for very long, it definitely gives you that option. Pretty basic stuff here. I'll point this out first. I've got a hammer or mallet holder. These were just extra hangers that I had printed and thought I was going to use somewhere, but it's what I had, so I thought I would just use it like that. Moving on to some of the other features that were used here. Big one here was just with boxes. I've got a few kind of shapes and sizes that I used. The way that I designed these boxes was with the light panels on the back side or the side facing the panel, and that allows me to use the print in place features to attach with the snap connectors. An aesthetic feature is using something like the clean panel on the front of it. Totally up to you as far as what choices you make with that. I just thought this looks pretty nice. Something that I learned through the process of doing this is if you can keep components like boxes in a similar dimension and size, that will most likely help you with configuring your panel array and making the potential of swapping components around a little more efficient. And then kind of a twist on the boxes. One of the big differences is these just have lids on them. That can help with things like dust and debris. So again, that kind of ties back to if you have this out in an area like a garage or a workshop, having the option of printing lids for your boxes just so you don't have an accumulation of junk within these. When you go through the process of printing components for the D-Lock design, within their descriptions, we do give some suggestions of how to print those pieces. So we do recommend using 3 walls in your print. Don't take my word for that. Check those descriptions. Something that I did not touch on in the previous video is a lot more of the details and nuance of the components that are available. For example, something like the D-Lock tool. This is used for removing and attaching components for things like panels. So again, just to show you, there's a taper to this to where it actually holds onto the part and, you know, gives it a good grip. So it just makes the process of this, especially, you know, when you're doing some 40 or 50 panels, and each panel will probably have 4 corners that you're attaching a connector to, that adds up over time. So having a tool like this is awesome. This tool is designed to be taken apart when you do get to the point of one of these end pieces breaking. You can take this apart and then replace one of these end pieces. One of the tips that I would give somebody going through this process is to print off multiple ends for your D-lock tool. I would also encourage using a stronger filament. These most recent ones that I had printed are out of PETG. These have held up really well. The kind of shelving capability with the D-lock design is kind of shown off here. There's a few examples. With these large shelf supports, there are ways to attach it to whatever shelving that you're going to use. Right now, this is just floating, I guess, or just sitting there. It works fine with the amount of weight that I have on it, so I'm not worried about it, you know, shifting left and right when I'm taking things off of it. This right here is a screwdriver holder, or could be used more generally as a tool holder. I have in this these tool holders that have a bunch of different diameters available in them. And these also have the D-lock feature. So you can remove and replace those as you want. I have, again, kind of some odd use cases with a few of these parts. With one of these hangers, I'm just using it as a spot to hold my hats. A few of these are used for things like tapes. A lot of these tapes are either hidden in drawers, they're hidden in a toolbox, and not easily accessible. Just wanted to give you kind of a follow-up on my progress with the D-lock design ecosystem, and specifically this panel array setup. If you do have any questions about most anything that you've seen today, I would highly encourage you to check out the D-lock design website. I'll have that link down below. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.